first encounter with Courtney. So there we were, in the depths of Chile, on a volcano. And so here's where we were on our mission, okay? And I was just in that district that she was in, so I knew everyone, just about everyone, her companion and all that. And I was in a different district. We both show up to the same spot, and you know, we get out of the van. It's like, hey, how's it going? Fancy seeing you here. We didn't plan it.
So my first encounter with Connor, I would say, would actually be at a train station. He probably would say a volcano, but I remember meeting him when we were at transfers. And did he talk about that? No? We were all like switching companions and going about our way. And I just remember everyone in my last district had known about him because he had just left the area before. And so everyone was always talking about Connor Crandall, Elder Crandall, and how cool he was and fun to hang out with kind of thing and to serve with. And then I remember he actually came to the terminal because he was switching like areas as well. And that was the first time I had like actually seen him in person. And he was walking past and he was like, hey, Sister Barker. And we had never met. And I was like, how did he know my name? And I was just like super excited that he knew my name because I thought he was like this cool person even though I didn't ever know him. And I thought it was just super sweet. And then I realized I carried my name around with me everywhere I went. So it probably wasn't as special, but I thought it was.
So I see her walking with her companion, going up. So I go up to talk to her, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? She was like, hey, we're probably speaking Spanish, you know, our gringo Spanish. And I was like, so where are you from? And she goes, South Africa. I was like, South Africa? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I bet South Africans can have that kind of hair that you do, something along those lines. And she was like, you don't think we can? Huh?
I just remember right as we opened the door, the other like missionaries opened their van door and all got out, and it was just a super fun time. And I was like, this is my shot. Now I can actually talk to him. And then I said something stupid like that I was from South Africa, and just to catch his attention. And it worked, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that was the extent of that conversation. Never found out that she was from North Ogden, didn't find out. I mean, I assumed that she was from Utah. She has the Utah look about her.
Yeah, we were able to talk for just a little bit, and it was fun.
But the next time we talked, we were coming home from the mission because of COVID. We were at the airport with all of us Americans, and we had just another conversation. Then we had like one more at the hotel.
We all flew up to Santiago and stayed the night there. And I honestly didn't know that anything was going to happen from talking to him, but I liked him and wanted to talk to him more because I was like, he's from Washington, so I'm never going to talk to him again. And so I think I probably sought him out and went and talked to him as he was emailing you guys. And
I was writing to you guys on the computer with all of us around. She was like, oh, so who are you writing? I'm like, why do you care? And I was like, I was writing my family.
And then we ended up talking to each other in the line at the airport. We were waiting to go and talk to, or take pictures with the mission president. And we talked to each other then. Just like surface conversations, but apparently sparks flew. That was a great time.
And then we had like a longer conversation that time. As the way she says it, these are her words. She was like, yeah, the sparks flew probably at that time right there. Then we came home, and 2 weeks later we were released, and then I, as the kids say, slid into the DMs, into Messenger, and started talking.
So it was about 2 weeks after we got home, and he had messaged me on Messenger, and I don't usually use Facebook that much, so I probably got his message like a while later, but it was very, very surprising. He said something like, "How's quarantine going for you?" And then we just went from there.
A couple weeks later, we watched a movie together, her in Utah, me in Washington. We watched She's the Man. One might say it was our first date, but I wouldn't. Maybe I would. Then a year later, here we are.
But we ended up just talking, and I don't know, we had Snapchat, Messenger, ended up talking through messages, and then we both went back out on our missions, and we would send emails and audios and pictures and stuff, and just talk about our missions and how fun it was.
So when she went back out on a mission, she went to Temple Square, I went to Louisiana, Mississippi, and we just emailed back and forth every P-Day. We were pretty religious about it. Maybe I was a little bit more religious than she was to email her every week. Emails weren't working, so we started sending audios back and forth. We'd do like anywhere from 15 minutes to, I would get my companions to do some with me. We'd get like hour-long audios sometimes. She was awesome. She would get my jokes, and I wouldn't try to think about her too much, obviously.
When Connor got home, I had already been home for a little bit, and we continued talking because he was in Washington / Louisiana, because you guys all went to visit him and all the places that he served. And we talked and like FaceTimed and stuff, did whatever we could. And then one day he texted me or called me or something, and he was like, "I want to take you out on a date."
So our first date, she was still in Utah, I was in Washington, and it was right before Valentine's Day that I was like thinking, hey, I should like somehow make a move right now. And I text her or something, and I was like, hey, would you want to go on a date with me like Monday? I think Valentine's is on a Sunday, so it was like the 15th. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. How? And I was like, well, I'm thinking, you have an Olive Garden there, right? She was like, yeah, it's about 15 minutes away. I was like, cool. Yeah, we'll just do that. And she was like, are you going to come down? I was like, no, I'm just, let's FaceTime.
And I didn't know how that was going to work out, but he explained the whole situation and how it was all going to work out. He's like, all right, 6:30 sharp, I will call you and pick you up, and we will get in our cars and we'll drive to Olive Garden and we'll have a date. And so we took our phones and FaceTimed the whole way. She
drives to Olive Garden and we're FaceTiming in the car. That won't go on record. And we were driving, and I see red and blue lights flash behind her. And she kind of like looks behind, looks at the phone, and she's like, oh no. And she's like, I gotta go. She gets pulled over. When the lights started flashing, I said goodbye to him really quick, destroy all the evidence. And luckily it wasn't for speeding or anything, it was more for expired registration, which it was a funny moment. Connor could not stop laughing after that. But then we got to Olive Garden, and it was really funny. I just like put my phone up next to my drink, and my server would come by every once in a while, and she would look over. She was like, are they doing that? Are they doing that right now? And at the end of the day, she was like, is she also at an Olive Garden right now? And I was like, yeah, she is in Utah. And she was like, I live for that. All the waiters and waitresses thought it was the funniest thing.
that we were just eating our dinners alone / on FaceTime. It was a fun experience though. That's when I knew that he was the keeper if he wanted to do fun stuff like that.
We have our date, right? It was awesome. The Olive Garden date. And I was just going back and forth between like, hey, should I stay here in Washington? Do I look for a job here? I think we applied to like a Costco or something here, or over there in Washington, I mean. Or do I somehow move to Utah? And so it was just like an afterthought really at first, but then as like I kept talking with Courtney, we would call each other, we would text each other all the time. I was like, well, Kelsey and Cameron are in Eagle Mountain. It's not too far from North Ogden. It's only an hour 15, right? I can do that drive. I don't have a car, but let's do it. So then I think it was you, Mom, and I, we just drove to Utah, moved in with Kelsey and Cameron. Thanks for that, by the way, Kelsey and Cameron. And got my feet on the ground, got a part-time job at Costco, took out a loan to get a car because I was dirt broke, still am. Don't know why she's marrying me. But then started being in person. It was way better than phone.
I think something that sticks out to me about Connor in general is just how nice he is to everyone and how inclusive he wants to make everyone feel, and he goes above and beyond to help people out and to be with me, and he knows what he wants, I would say. I think it was even the fact that he moved down at all was a big indication that, you know, he didn't want to just date, but like he wanted to see where this would go, kind of thing. And honestly, he's probably the reason that he is the reason this whole relationship happened in the first place. Because I wouldn't have thought to reach out to him. I wouldn't have thought that it could work out since he's in a different state of all places. But just the fact that he goes for what he wants and puts in the effort is something that I've always really admired about him, I guess. And I'm excited to see where life takes us, and I know that it's not going to be easy per se. I mean, it seems like it's going to be easy because like we just get along so well together, but I know from countless people telling us marriage advice and, you know, just stay strong and say you're sorry and I love you, that there's most likely going to be some hard times, but I'm excited to work through those, and I know that I've reached a point, and I think the only way I can progress further is when we're together, and I'm really excited about that.
We say it all the time, like how lucky we are to have each other, that we stumbled across each other, that both our families are so great, that we're so blessed, and like what we did to deserve it. And you know, we might never know what we did to deserve it, how we got so lucky, but just being with her at any time, I hate when I'm not around her. She's just the most perfect girl. I know she's gonna be the best wife. She's gonna be the best mother. I love her so much, and I think more than that, she's just gonna. It might sound cheesy, but just complete me. You know, she's just gonna be that missing piece to the puzzle. Inside joke.